Hi, how's it going? I'm Jaleel Beirudi, a photographer for Lumepic, and in the last video, I shared how to manage your ratio, how to choose a good event, and also how to set up your workflow. And today, I want to share a key element, also key for this business. And that is learning how to drive the right people, the appropriate people, directly to your Lumepic album. And we're gonna do that through paid advertising on Instagram. Because it's one thing to take great photos and another to reach the right people. So stay with me because in this video, I'm gonna show you step-by-step how to do it. The goal of this advertising? Before we get into the technical part, I wanna make something very clear. And that is the goal of this advertising. This goal isn't about getting more likes. It's not about increasing your follower count. The goal of this specific advertising is learning to drive more traffic from Instagram to your Lumepic album to generate more sales. When we understand this, when we understand that this is how the game works, we'll start to see Instagram ads as more than just something superficial, but as a tool to generate real sales. Why Instagram? Instagram works very well for these types of campaigns for two reasons. The first is that it's a completely visual network. There we'll find photos, videos, moments of all kinds. And the second is that athletes, runners, people who are already at sporting events are also already on this social network. And that's why when we upload a photo, it's easier for them to connect, see it, and therefore go to Lumepic to look for their photo. And finally, advertising on Instagram is very simple. You'll see it in the moment. And that's why we recommend, initially, to get started, advertising from this social network. The content you can promote. Now, the starting point for creating your ad is selecting what content you're going to post. And for that, I want to give you some recommendations. It's not the same to post an image, a photograph, that doesn't share any kind of emotion, that doesn't connect with people, as it is to post, for example, a photo of a runner in full effort. Now, it could also be a photo of a very cheerful runner who looks happy, who looks like she's enjoying herself. Another example could be someone reaching the finish line with a lot of excitement. All of that grabs a lot of attention because it naturally connects with the person who experienced it and makes it so when they see those kinds of photos, people say, hey, I was there. I lived that. I might also appear in one of these photos, and they'll run to look for themselves on Lumepic. So select very carefully which photo or which photos you're going to post to promote your ad, step by step to create the end. Now let's get to the process. I'm going to guide you so you can also learn how to promote directly from Instagram. And for that, I recommend you do it on your computer. Okay? First, once you're on your computer, go directly to the Instagram website and log into your account. Just click on Login. Once you're on this screen, navigate over to the left side and carefully scroll all the way down through this entire side panel to where it says Panel. Once you're there, click on it and go to the Ad Tools section. In Ad Tools, you will be presented with a screen that looks exactly like this one. And right here, simply click where it says Create Ad. Now that we're here, I want you to look at these first two options. The first one says Post an ad that doesn't appear on your profile. This feature is designed specifically for an ad that you would rather not have saved on your profile. Okay? It will simply last as long as it's running. The ad or the promotion. Then there's Promote Profile Content. For example, if we click here, my posts, stories, and reels will appear. All these elements I've already uploaded to my account, which are already public and could also be promoted. Okay? So either of the two options is viable. In this particular case, we're going to create an ad, and we'll create it from Post an Ad that doesn't appear on your profile. So we can create an ad from scratch, okay? Once we're here, we click it, and the first thing it asks is to upload images or a video. It can be a photo, or it can be 3 or 4 images to create a carousel, or it can be a reel, a video, okay? Any of the options is valid. Once you've selected it, click it, and select the images. In this case, it provides you with a great opportunity to adjust these images to carefully refine their appearance, and that's it. You do what's necessary here so the images perfectly align with exactly how you visualize them in your mind. For example, here I'm adjusting and adapting the images, and I want you to take a close look at the type of images I used because this is related to exactly what I told you a moment ago. It's absolutely essential that the images effectively communicate something, convey joy, convey a bit of excitement, and that they can convey a deep emotion so you truly connect with the potential audience viewing this promotion. In this case, everything's ready. We click Next. It gives us the option to add filters or make some adjustments if necessary. If not, we click Next, and here it gives us the option to tag. If we know, for example, this person or this person, we can click there and tag them. In this case, there's my personal profile. And on this right side, it lets us write the copy. What is the copy? The copy is the text that will go with your promotion so people see the image and also see the copy. The recommendation is that it be something direct, something simple, something strong, and something that has a call to action, that it has a call to action so that they do something. In this case, download their photograph, buy their photo, look for their photo, etc., etc. So in this case, it would be something like, so did you actually happen to run the Culver 2026? That is really the big question everyone is asking, because it gives the full context of the entire race and it gives the specific name. And from there, it can be like download. Well, let's just say that your photos are finally ready for you. Go ahead and download them right now. And that's all there is to it. You can add, if you want, and if it fits your image, some emojis. In my case, yes, I'll put them there. And now that we have this ready, we click on Next. Once we hit that Next button, Instagram is immediately beginning the process of setting up the ad. It's starting to automatically generate all the necessary elements so that your ad is yes, so that we can launch your ad, okay? So on the right side, you'll find this ad preview. If you click it, here you'll be able to see how to look in your Instagram feed, how to look in stories, etc., etc. It also gives you the option to turn on or off showing it on Facebook, or also turn on or off this part about using advantage content, okay? I recommend that you leave it just like that. Don't change anything, okay? After that, it gives you the option to create an ad with a partner. We're not going to look at that for now. And from there comes an important part. What do you want people to do when they see your ad? In this case, we have the option to visit your profile, visit your website, send you messages, or a combination of actions. In this specific case, remember that what we want is to increase our sales, not increase followers, not increase views to our Instagram, not increase likes. It's to increase the number of sales. For that, we're going to choose the option Visit Your Website. Once we click here on Visit Your Website, the promotion we're going to do will generate a button practically at the bottom of the promotion that says Download, that says Visit, that says Buy. We're going to choose it now so that as soon as they click there, it sends them directly to your album on Lumepic. For that, it's necessary that you already have your link to the Lumepic album, okay? You'll find that right on lumepic.com in the album section, and then just pull the specific album you want to post. In this specific case, for example, if I go ahead and click on Edit right here, this is the exact place where we can enter the correct URL. It's incredibly important here, team, that you make sure to double check everything beforehand to ensure that the URL you're entering is definitely the one that takes you straight to the album, okay? Just take a moment to verify it's correct. So once you have arrived at lumepic.com and you go to your albums, you're going to take a quick look right over here in this section in the top right corner and simply click on My Albums. And then you'll look for the specific album of the race that you want to promote. In this case, it's the Sulfur one. Go right here where it says Actions. Go ahead and click on the Share button. and then click right here on Copy Link. Once you have it, copy the URL directly into your clipboard to make sure that it's the direct link. And here we can confirm that, yes, it actually takes us right to our album. So now that we have successfully generated this link, now let's head right back over to the Instagram page so we can move forward with the rest of the promotion. So with this specific URL fully verified, we're going to go ahead and paste it right here because that is exactly where we're taking people so they can visit our new album. And here's the part for the call to action. You can choose any of these. You can choose shop, see more, or sign up. In this case, I'd recommend shop because from there, you're already inviting people to go in and buy. Once you've verified the URL is correct and you've selected shop, just click on save. Now that we've saved it, you can see your info is updated here. And what's next is important. We can skip this special requirements part, and then comes who you want to see your ad. We can specifically choose people similar to your followers, and Instagram will carefully analyze your followers for people interested in this type of promotion, this race, or the kind of valuable information you're sharing. Now, if you want to look a bit more professional and get better results, let's go to the option to create your own. We're going to create the audience here, okay? Here we go to audience name. We can call it, for example, Veracruz 5K race, or you can use the name of the race, whatever you prefer to identify it. From here, in locations, we'll click on edit and you'll look in the regional section. You're going to look for the place where this race took place. In this case, I'm going to select Veracruz and then we click on save. Once we've saved it, it says minimum age 18. You could increase it, for example, if it was a race specifically for people 50 and over, well, you could change it. In this case, since this race was for college students, I'm going to set it at 16 years old because there were also some younger families. Once we're here, it gives us yet another option that says audience suggestions, and it marks it as optional. If we expand this menu, we're going to find this interest section. If we click on the edit button, it will allow us to add specific interests. In this case, for example, let's search for race. And let's see what comes out. In this case, for example, long distance running. 5K also appears, if I'm not mistaken. But for example, there's running. So let's put in women. Once we've entered the term running, Instagram will begin to show you a list of various suggested interests. In this case, for example, it shows marathons, it shows sports. Let's see if 5K appears. There it is. For example, 5K appears. Let's see if we can narrow it down a bit more. 5K running, there is 5-kilometer race. So what Instagram does with this is that for everyone who at some point talked, chatted, or interacted with content related to 5-kilometer races or running, this ad will appear to them if they are within the Veracruz area. Okay? So that brings us closer and closer to our target audience. Now that we have this, we click on Save. I recommend that you don't put more than 5 interests, okay? That's enough. From there, after the interests, it shows the age again. In this case, I'll leave it from 16 to 65. Gender, male, female, or all. I'll leave it on all, and we click Save. After we have finished saving everything, our custom audience will show up right here in this list, as you can see, okay? Now that we have it, the next thing is something important, okay? Here comes the budget part. The budget here is also something relevant. Why? The great thing is that we can actually start to invest from as little as 18 pesos every single day, or we can even choose to contribute much more money per day if we want to. Does that make sense to you? In this particular situation, the specific recommendation that I am making to you is that we can allocate and invest approximately 50 to 90 pesos a day for a period of approximately 3 or 4 days in total. Okay, So, for example, Instagram also gives you certain recommendations here depending on your ad and everything. But anyway, I recommend that between 50 and 90 pesos per day is a very good number to encourage people to reach your posts. And for about 3 days, it's perfect. So once we've set the budget, for example, I'm going to leave it here at 90 pesos a day, and it shows me the duration part. It gives us the option to run this ad until I manually pause it. Okay, I don't recommend this because if you forget, the ad will just keep running and running and running. The important thing here is to define a duration. So here you can set it starting from the day you're creating the ad. Well, run it for 3 days, for 4 days, or for 5 or 6 days. This will also depend on the event. I would personally recommend that between 3 and 4 days is the perfect amount of time to start testing this out. Now, I know that at first glance, these 90 Mexican pesos a day might seem like, wow, that actually sounds like a lot of money. But in reality, if you have good content in your photos, you also did a good job with promotion, and on top of that, you add this, surely in 1, 2, or at most 3 photos, you've already paid for the entire advertising element you're investing in. And after that, everything that comes in will be profit. So don't be afraid to invest. What you're doing right now is being able to further incentivize the potential sales you might have. Okay, so once we've programmed everything, all of this on the right side is the payment method. If you haven't set it up, it will give you the option to do so. It can be directly to a card and you'll see the payment summary. So here is the approximate budget that you would be investing in this ad. Once we have all of our materials prepared, we can give it a thorough review one more time. And when we have it all ready, we simply go ahead and click on Create Ad. In this case, I'm not going to click it because this is a dummy ad. But if you select the option to Create Ad, Instagram will immediately begin the process of implementing all the essential technical optimizations and adjustments so that your ad is launched to the right people, and therefore you can start seeing a significant increase in your sales results. Perfect time to activate the campaign. And there's something I forgot to share with you. When is the ideal time to activate the campaign? And you can do that just as soon as you have all of your photos ready in the Lumepic album. At that moment, now you can start effectively managing all the steps we just did and actively promote that specific link so that more people start arriving much faster to this album, and therefore your overall sales begin to increase significantly. And before we close this video, I want to give you an extra tip. To do this, let's go to Instagram. We're going to go to the dashboard again. We're going to create a new ad. And in this case, I'm going to click on Promote Profile Content. Take a look right here, for example, at this specific video in the center of the screen. What I'm doing there is actively inviting people to interact with me, specifically asking them to leave me their runner number down in the comment section, because in that clip, I am telling people that I am going to be participating in a future race. So if I want people to start identifying me or start knowing that I'm going to be at a certain point in the race, that I'll be at a specific spot on the course. And besides, if they leave me their bib number, once I have the photos ready, I'll send them over so they can take a look at them. That's already starting to build engagement before the race even begins. So for this, we're going to use this feature. What do you want people to do when they see your ad? Instead of visiting your profile or your website, you can click on Send Message. So here you can send them directly to a WhatsApp you've already set up or directly to Instagram as well, okay? It gives you options for the result you want, like conversations, purchases, or the call to action button. What I would personally recommend doing here is to click on the Purchases tab and then click on the Send Message button, because that's also going to start opening up a conversation with the person who is specifically interested in getting their photos. After the race, then you promote all of this, just like we were talking about. You can leave it running for 1 or 2 days as a test. Click on Promote Reel or Promote or Advertise, whatever big blue button appears down here, and you're set. You'll also start generating more views for your profile. But this is before the events. After the events, it's everything I already told you. Once we have our link ready, what matters is that people go straight there to maximize the chance of a sale. To sum it up, advertising works really well when we understand these three things. First, beautiful, curated, appropriate content that conveys an emotion. Second, the right time to advertise. As soon as we have all of our photos in the album and they're uploaded, that is the precise moment when we start setting up our promotion and our Instagram ads. And number three, we want to make it incredibly simple and easy for our runners and participants to access the album link. Because it's not about making complicated campaigns. It's about making access as simple as possible for all our users so they can find their photo. And if we do this, the sales will start coming in much more easily. So for your next event, I invite you to try it out. Post your best photos, create a simple ad, and quickly drive everyone to your album on Lumepic. Don't be afraid to invest. You'll see that in the end, it all pays off, and it pays off very well. That's all for me for today. See you in the next video, and I'll see you out on the course.